Welcome, everyone, to Carlsbad Cavegirl Park here in Carlsbad, New Mexico, side of the 5A. First round of the state softball playoffs. Hobbs Eagles on the road. You have to win this ballgame to move on to the next round. Ty Friend here with you. It's going to be a hot one, probably around 80-degree mark. Very little winds blowing here in Carlsbad. Of course, little rain falling in Hobbs before I left this afternoon. But the Hobbs 8 Eagles have a tough road to hoe against their arch rival from District, Carlsbad. Of course, these two teams have played 5 times this season. And the Hobbs Lady Eagles did win the first game, going all the way back to March 29th. As the Lady Eagles really got the bats moving pretty well, as Zambrano with 3 hits, 3 RBIs for the Lady Eagles in that one. Garcia had a couple of hits herself, and Jimenez, Fuentes, and Boyle all getting 1 hit apiece. The big numbers from Zambrano, though, 3 RBIs in that game with 2 triples and 1 double. So the bats really working well for the Lady Eagles in that game. But when District started, a whole different story, as Carlsbad pretty much ran the table. They won the first game of the series 9-2. That was a game that they got 13 hits compared to 5 for the Lady Eagles. And definitely some good hitting for Carlsbad in that one. Game 2 was 10-5 in that first doubleheader of the season. 14 hits for Carlsbad and 8 for the Lady Eagles. So right there, a 27-13 difference, doubling up on the hits for Carlsbad after the 2 games. Got a little bit closer in games 3 and 4 just recently. Carlsbad winning the first one of that series 9-5. 10-7 hit count in that game. Carlsbad had 3 more hits than the Lady Eagles, but had 3 home runs in that win. So definitely a big job for them. 7 hits for the Lady Eagles. Nothing to sneeze at, though, playing one of the toughest teams in the state. The final game between the 2 teams, the 5th game, a 13-5 victory for Carlsbad. 17 hits in that game, the best of their season against the Lady Eagles, and just 6 for Hobbs in that contest. So, again, things didn't work out the best at the end. But, again, Carlsbad has been defeated once by Hobbs, so the Lady Eagles would like to pick them off. Now, the winner of this game will play Mayfield for the 7 o'clock game. A little bit of a different regional kind of look to it. They played earlier, 5-2 win for Mayfield in that one, so they have already advanced to that 7 o'clock game. Loser of this game, though, Hobbs-Carlsbad, is out. If you are to win this game and then lose later tonight, you still go up to state for the second round. So a good shot there to continue to play some softball, but if you lose game 1, it's all she wrote. The Hobbs Lady Eagles have batted .241 against Carlsbad this season during the 5 games. 4 of those, of course, in district. Hobbs managing 35 hits out of 145 at-bats. That's a .241, again, batting average in those 5 games. Carlsbad, on the other hand, batting .389 in those 5 games. Definitely swinging it well with 62 hits and out of 159 at-bats. Now, the big thing about Carlsbad's hitting is they get a lot of multiple bases when they do hit. 47% of their hits against the Lady Eagles, those 62, 47% of those were for multiple bases. So that tells you they're really got some power behind the bats. The Hobbs Lady Eagles at 37% on their multiple base hits. Total runs so far in the 5 games, 51 for Carlsbad and 27 for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So it's going to be one of those pickoff games for Hobbs. Definitely like to play Mayfield later tonight for the doubleheader. And again, it's going to be a hot one here on the field turf, so pitchers better be ready, as well as the rest of the squads. It's Hobbs and Carlsbad, first round of the 5A State Girls Softball Tournament. We'll come back in 90 seconds to get you ready for this game. You're listening live to HobbsAmerica.com, also on the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and on the Facebook page of 100.5 The Eagle. Welcome back to Carlsbad, ready for Hobbs Lady Eagle playoff softball first round of the 5A tournament live on HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and the Cool 95.7, or make that the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Lots of different ways to catch the game. Free video course for you from Nullmark Broadcasting. We mentioned the Hobbs Lady Eagles taking on Carlsbad. This is the 6th game this season, 4 in district, all wins by Carlsbad, and the one win for the Lady Eagles back on March 29th. In terms of the standings for the district heading into this playoff situation, Carlsbad at 12-0. In terms of the district, 148 runs scored, just 25 given up, most of those coming at the hands of the Lady Eagles throughout the season. Roswell and Hobbs log jammed at 6-6, 500 records in the district, although Hobbs has a lot more runs scored this season in those games. The 12 they played, 123 runs and gave up 88. Roswell had 96 runs and 75 given up, so more production offensively for Hobbs, tied for second in the district. Overall, the 20-6 record for Carlsbad, they have scored 241 runs against all their opponents this season. That's 26, and runs against just 113. So they're more than doubling up on the scoring versus the give-ups that they have on defense. The Hobbs Lady Eagles, with the 13-12 record, have scored 224 runs and given up 182. Of course, Carlsbad undefeated in district, and of course also number 7 in the final Max Preps Bowl of the season. They did get the number 4 seed here at state. Hobbs coming in at number 13. So again, a little bit of disparity in terms of places between the two teams on the Max Preps Bowl. But you got to look at one thing that Hobbs does lead in, and that's strength of schedule. Lady Eagles at 10.4 from the Max Preps Bowl. Carlsbad at 9.2. So Hobbs had a few tougher opponents throughout the season, but still, you can't sneeze at a 20-6 record for Carlsbad. So should be kind of an interesting game to see if Hobbs can keep on track. Of course, a couple of players that did come up big, even though they lost to Hobbs in that March 29th game. One of those that can really slug the ball, Michaela Chester. She finished up with 3 hits in that game, a double and a home run, plus 3 RBIs. So she's got to be watched out for in terms of the batting for the Carlsbad Cavegirls. And it's kind of weird. She is not the cleanup hitter for Carlsbad either. So you would think they'd put her in that 4th slot, but she is not there. She's at number 3, though, pretty close. So definitely's got a bat. Another girl that came up for them in terms of hitting the ball was Rivera. She had 2 hits against Hobbs in that one to finish up her offensive numbers. But Hobbs did get the win, so a 1-run victory. Kind of like the same thing that happened last year towards the end of the district schedule. Hobbs able to pick off Carlsbad. I believe it was the final game of the season before going on to the playoffs. So kind of a similar situation this season with what's been going on. In terms of last year's performance by these both of these ball clubs, Carlsbad made it to the playoffs as they usually do. There's no doubting that. They came into the last games of the season. They beat Los Lunas 9-0 in a shutout. Then were picked off twice to be knocked out of the tournament. Centennial beat them 20-7, and Mayfield, the team that just won earlier here today, beat them 10-5. So they had to check out early at the tournament. Hobbs Lady Eagles did make it to the first round. Unfortunately, lost to Oregon Mountain in 8 innings, 2-1, in a very close game there on the road in Las Cruces. So both teams did make the playoffs. We mentioned earlier here in the pregame show that there's already going to be a next opponent scheduled. That's Mayfield coming up after this game. So whoever does win this contest will get a little bit of time to breathe and rest a bit and then have to turn around and play against Mayfield. But the best thing about winning your first game here is you will be automatically registered for the second round of the state tournament, which will be next week. So, but losing the first game, it's all bets are off. You're heading home or staying home if you're Carlsbad, and going home if you're the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So very exciting game here. Again, we're still kind of waiting for the first game to get cleared out. They got a new ump crew coming in. Very hot field conditions as well. Lady Eagles already been out in the field warming up just a bit. And just kind of a quick rundown on who you can expect out on the field for this ball game. It'll be Zambrano at second, Fuentes the right fielder, Boyle the shortstop, Chavez the catcher. Garcia will be at first, Valenzuela third, Jimenez the center fielder. That's Mariah Jimenez, Angel Jimenez in left field, and Carissa Segala, the DP. She'll be batting ninth for the Lady Eagles. And then the pitcher will be Ellie Medina. And, of course, as you are a Hobbs Lady Eagles softball fan, knowing Rodriguez getting hurt a few weeks ago, she will not play in this game, obviously. So they're going to have Ellie Medina on the mound. Not as tested as some of the other pitchers they've gone through this season. A very tough road to hoe against Carlsbad, one of the best hitting clubs in the state. So she's going to have to take care of business as best she can to help out the Hobbs Lady Eagles cause. So that was the lineup that I went in the order there. That's the hitting lineup for Hobbs, and we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. For the Carlsbad Lady Cavegirls, again, we'll just stick with Cavegirls through the game. They have Fuentes at left field, Weldon shortstop, Chester the big hitter we talked about, third baseman, Madrid's a right fielder, Aubrey Hernandez, who's got an 8-0 record on the mound for Carlsbad. She is the pitcher in this game. She's also batting in the 5th spot. Faith Rivero is the first baseman, Camelia Uranga, the DP, Bianca Villa, the center fielder, and Kendra Ortega, the catcher. They'll also have Ortega coming in at second base. Will not bat, at least to start the game, for Carlsbad. So that kind of gives you the taste of what we're expecting here in the Cavegirls softball complex tonight. Again, Hobbs coming in with a 13-12 overall record. They went 500 in the district, 6-6. The Cavegirls are 20-6 and 12-0 in district. We'll take another 90-minute break as we await the national anthem and hopefully the umpires for this first round playoff game in Carlsbad. Stay with us as more Hobbs Lady Eagles softball on Cool. It's 95.7. I also should say Eagle 100.5, their Facebook. That's the one we're using. HobbsAmerica.com and the YouTube Hobbs Sports page.
Number 17, Sol Rangel. And the starters. DP, number 18, Carissa Segala. Right field, number 5, Jacqueline Fuentes. 3, Mariah Jimenez. Left field, number 8, Angel Jimenez. Shortstop, number 13, Kaya Boyle. Third base, number 14, Arena Valenzuela. Second base, number 4, Abby Zambrano. First base, number 9, Allison Garcia, sorry. Catcher, number 1, Edith Chavez. Starting pitcher, number 11, Arceli Medina. Head coach, Anthony Boyle. Number 18, Anya Rittner. And your starters. DP, number 13, Camila Urenga. Right field, number 9, Ali Madrid. Center fielder, number 17, Bianca Villa. Left field, number 20, Kaleon Fuentes. Shortstop, number 11, Paris Weldon. Third base, number 6, Michaela Chester. Second base, number 2, Katrina Ortega. First base, number 12, Faith Rivera. Catcher, number 14, Kendra Ortega. Starting pitcher, number 4, Aubrey Hernandez. Head coach of the Cavegirls, Brian Santo.
So those are your starting lineups here at Cavegirls Field, both the Hobbs Lady Eagles and the Carlsbad Cavegirls, two district foes, as we go to the national anthem. We're listening live to Hobbs Lady Eagles softball playoffs on the internet. Welcome back to Cavegirl Park here in Carlsbad. Ty Friend here with you as the Hobbs 8 Eagles taking on their arch rival from the district, Carlsbad. Hobbs at 13-12 and the Cavegirls at 20-6. Right now warming up for the Cavegirls, Abby Hernandez. Perfect record, 8-0 this season, her 9th game of the year, and 1.43 ERA, one of the best pitchers in the state of New Mexico. She'll take on Ellie Medina for your Hobbs 8 Eagles, but first on offense for Hobbs. Leading off for the Lady Eagles at the plate will be Abby Zambrano, the second baseman. .393 batting average. She has 35 hits this season, which is the best on the team. Also getting 29 runs scored, 3 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs. Hobbs has hit 22 home runs on the season and are batting .363. Actually have a better batting average in Carlsbad at .349, so that looks pretty decent there. Records aren't close, but the hitting is there for the Hobbs 8 Eagles. Just hopefully it shows up in this big game. Loser is out. Winner will play another one tonight, and we'll go on to the second round no matter if they lose that second game or not, but they got to win the first one first. So now coming up is Abby Zambrano, Fuentes, Boyle, and Chavez. Second, third, and fourth in the order. Hobbs wearing the black uniforms with the gold piping. And Carlsbad, the home team, the white uniforms and the pinstripes, blue socks. As we're underway here, first round of the 5A state playoffs on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Here comes the windup in the throw from Hernandez. Fastball high riser for the ball. Way out of the strike zone that time. Good eye for Zambrano to take the first ball. Slated for 7 here. Again, Mayfield won earlier, 5-2, knocking off Sandia for the first game of the night. Curveball inside, brushes back Zambrano just a bit to take the second ball. 2-0 count now to the leadoff hitter for the Lady Eagles. Zambrano with a .471 on-base percentage this season. Definitely one of the runners you want to have on base. Curveball inside, going to be whacked out to short center, takes a roll. And to start the game, the Lady Eagles with their first hit. That's a single. So the runner at first is Zambrano. Way to get things going at the first at bat. Jackie Fuentes now, the right fielder, comes on. She's batting even better, .429, has 39 hits. Actually, she's first on the team with hits, 35 for Zambrano, now 36. 12 RBIs, 6 doubles, 2 triples, no home runs yet, but does have 32 runs scored. Fastball right down the pike, takes it for a strike. Does Zambrano, or correction, Fuentes. Fuentes second in the order for the Lady Eagles. Boyle and Chavez to follow. One runner at first, Zambrano after a single. Little delay here from the mound. The windup in the throw from Hernandez. Curving inside, showing bunt look was Zambrano. And that goes high for a ball. Getting back to first is Zambrano. As Fuentes up with the count now 1-1. Again, hot afternoon here in Carlsbad. Actually, nighttime now. I think we'll get this, hopefully, a game before it starts the sun go down. Fastball is going to be fouled off across the top of the right backstop, out of play, out towards the parking lot. Also, baseball going on tonight next door is Carlsbad. The boys have a 6 o'clock game, so a little bit of an overlap there. Both parking lots will be filled up here in Carlsbad. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fuentes trying to stay alive at the plate. Fastball goes a little low from Hernandez. Ortega saves it near the home plate, so it didn't go wild. That would have advanced Zambrano if it did. Count to 2-2 now, evened up for Fuentes. Fuentes with a .475 on base percentage, so kind of pretty similar numbers with her and Zambrano. High riser, fastball for the ball. Full count out of Fuentes. Runner on already. Would like to get a second here. Again, the Lady Eagles with a 1-4 record against Carlsbad this year. The Cavegirls won all 4 of the district games. Fastball drops low for the walk, and that will send Fuentes to first base on the gift. Fuentes picking up her 7th walk of the season. Hobbs has 95 walks, make it 96 with the one just recorded there. So runners at first and second, great start. Zambrano, Fuentes on, and now it's time for Kaya Boyle to step up, the shortstop. Of course, she's the sister of the head coach and daughter of the baseball coach for the Hobbs Eagle programs. Takes the first pitch, fastball high for ball 1. Boyle comes in In terms of batting for the season at .442, one of the best on the team with the 23 hits, 18 RBIs, 6 doubles, 2 triples, and a homer. Fastball coming down the pike, a little low for ball 2. Boyle with a .523 on base percentage, best on the team. Would love to load up the bases here with at least a single, if not more. Curveball comes inside from Hernandez. And they're going to call that just inside to the strike zone. Got the clip of the left part of the plate. Count goes to 2-1 for Boyle. Edith Chavez, the cleanup artist, up next. The catcher for Hobbs. No outs, too, with runners at first and second. Pitch comes inside off the end of the bat to the middle of the backstop for Boyle to stay alive. Kind of swinging the bat around as she leaves the circle and gets herself collected here. Definitely wants to make some contact and keep it away from third, which would be the force out for Carlsbad. They get up a single and a walk so far. Still scoreless top of the first. The windup in the throw coming from Hernandez. Curveball and off the bat again, and this is the middle of the backstop for a foul. Evens up the count at 2-2. This game is not a doubleheader, just a one-game loser out. Winner plays later tonight after this one. It's a lot of softball to go here. Hernandez looks at her wrist, throws a curveball inside. This one hit hard over to left towards the Carlsbad dugout and ricochets off the wall and bounces around behind home plate a little bit there as Hobbs is able to track that down for the umpire. Count still 2-2. Getting a piece of it was Boyle. Coming back strong with the pitch. Riser for Hernandez goes high, and now a full count. So 2 full counts so far in this top of the first. Now Boyle going to have to deal with one. Very little wind here at Cavegirl Field. Pitch comes back, fastball high. It's going to get high in the air, foul territory, and go behind home plate. Trying to swat at it. The catcher, Ortega, could not make the catch. Kind of knocked off her webbing there on her glove, right side of the plate. So breathing a sigh of relief there was Boyle. She did try to go up down that first base line, but had to come back, and it was just lucky that it wasn't caught. I think the sun might have been an issue there. A little bit of shade off to the left and behind home plate, but off to the right, there's still some sun there. Full count pitch coming from Hernandez. High riser, that'll be a walk. Boy, Boyle picks up one big to load the bases up. That's her 8th walk of the season. And now Hobbs loading the bases, all 3 covered up here, and brings in the one you want to have in this position, Edith Chavez. Now she can bring some runs home with this one swing of the bat, if possible. She's batting .438. Best part is 38 RBIs, the best on the team, and 9 homers to lead the Lady Eagles. Curveball inside. Just barely misses inside corner for the ball. 35 hits, as we mentioned. 13 doubles. Has 26 runs scored. Is currently 4th on the team for runs, but she likes to bat them in instead, helping her teammates out here. 1-0 pitch coming from Hernandez goes high for ball 2. Good eye for Chavez, and all 3 of the hitters so far have done a good job of watching pitches. A couple full counts at this point. Chavez would just like to launch this one if possible. 505 on base percentage too. Love those 500 numbers. Fastball whacked hard over the Hobbs Lady Eagles dugout on the right side. Out near the bullpen. Good contact for Chavez, is trying to even that bat out just a bit. Again, Hobbs batted .241 against Carlsbad in 5 games. Carlsbad at .389 this season. Well, changeup look goes low for ball. And count now 3-1. Chavez getting way ahead of the pitching of Hernandez. Again, she's undefeated 8-0 this season for the Cavegirls. Definitely doesn't want to have a walk here either. That would get a run home for Hobbs. Comes back with a high riser, waffled out towards the third baseline, over the shoulder, a tip catch, and it's made by Chester on the run. Look back over his shoulder to make the catch on the fly down that third base line. Boy, nice athletic play there with the sun right in her face for the fly out for Chavez, unfortunately, for the Lady Eagles. So out number 1, but the bases are still loaded for Hobbs. That brings in Allison Garcia, the first baseman. Garcia batting .342, 25 hits, 28 RBIs, which is a real good number here. 5 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 home runs. Currently second on the team in the homers. Out of 22 the Eagles have converted this season. Carlsbad has hit 33 home runs. But I digress. Fastball, swing and a miss for Garcia. Put a lot of ump behind that swing. Good pitch fastball there from Garcia, or correction from Hernandez. Counts 0-1. Base is still loaded for Hobbs. They have one down. Still scoreless here in the top of the first. The windup in the throw. Fastball high for the ball. Count evens up at 1-1. Valenzuela and both Jimenez's due up next in the 7 and 8 slots. And then Segala rounding out the order for Hobbs. The 1-1 pitch now from Hernandez. Little changeup look, curve to it as well. A little outside right for ball 2. 2-1 count. Boy, Garcia leaves the box and gets right back inside again. She's eager to get some contact here. Anything out in the outfield on the ground is definitely going to score a run. Fastball misses outside for ball 3. We've had this situation quite a bit here in the top of the first. Hobbs definitely doesn't want to leave runners on, so she would like to make some contact. Still just one out, though. Quick recycle here for Hernandez. Curveball, swing and a miss, and that'll be strike 2. Not done yet is Garcia. She's got a .451 on base percentage, so lots of players have been getting on base quite a bit this season for Hobbs. And it's not going to waste any time. Comes back with another pitch. Curve it inside and off the middle of the bat. Hits the backstop from behind home plate. So just keeping that contact keeps her alive at the plate for Hobbs. Lady Eagles one game above 500 this season, able to pick up that 13th spot for the playoffs, and number 4 for Carlsbad. Although they were a little bit different in the standings for Max Preps at the end, 7 and 15. So both teams moved up a few slots. They know this is a very tough district. Full count coming now on the pitch. They'll change up high, and that will send a walk and a run for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. It's 1-0 now. And now time called is heading to the mound is Ortega, the catcher, to talk to Hernandez. Carlsbad not put in this position very often. We mentioned in the pregame show in terms of the head-to-head competition this year, Carlsbad actually had 51 runs, 27 for Hobbs, 62 hits to 35 for the Lady Eagles. But look right now, Hobbs with bases loaded, a run scored, 1-0 here in the top of the first. Upset in the making here on the road tonight. Time is done, and now it's time for Valenzuela to step up for Hobbs. Batting .405, 17 hits, 12 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a home run. She has 5 runs this season. Takes a fastball for the strike down the middle. A 1 count now to Valenzuela, the third baseman for Hobbs. Little change-up look. Flick of the wrist there and a strike. Swing and a miss for Valenzuela. She looks over to Coach there on the third base line, Coach Boyle. Now facing an 0-2 count. 1 down for Hobbs. Base is still loaded here with the 1-0 lead. Fastball high on the riser for the ball. Count to 1-2. Of course, next week we'll be moving to Albuquerque, the teams that advance out of here tonight. 1-2 pitch, fastball down the middle. Ooh, just barely missed. It's been a little high there for the ump's liking. Helps the Lady Eagles to a 2-2 count. Good eye there for Valenzuela, but kind of close to that strike zone. Anything close, got to do some swinging on this one. Like to add on to the 1-0 lead at this point. Fastball goes low for Hernandez. Saved down underneath near the home plate by Hernandez to make sure it didn't go wild. That would have brought a home or run probably. Full count once again for the third time here in the top of the first. Still a 1-0 Hobbs lead. There comes the windup in the throw from Hernandez. Fastball high. There's another walk. She's having some issues now. 2 runs have scored here. Here at the top of the first inning. Already 4 walks out of 6 at-bats for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Time is called, and that's going to have a meeting of the minds on the pitching circle now as the defense kind of a little bit worried about what's happening at this point as Hobbs leads 2-0. The 13th seed taking care of business. And we're seeing a warm-up situation. Looks like already a change on the circle here. Ortega is out there. So it looks like they've already made the change. Kendra Ortega. Make that Katrina Ortega. We'll take a quick break as we get the warm-ups here. Already a pitching change in the top of the first. Your Hobbs Lady Eagles leading 2-0 after getting 4 walks and a single. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Lady Eagle Network. Welcome back to Carlsbad. New pitcher in Ortega. She's 5-2 on the season, her 9th game. She's got a 3.66 ERA. Fastball, swing and a miss. 1 down. Hobbs up 2-0 here in the top of the first at their first at bat. At the plate is Mariah Jimenez, the center fielder, getting her first action. Takes the first pitch, a strike for a 0-1 count. She is 7th in the order for the Lady Eagles, who lead 2-0. High riser fastball goes high for the ball. Count even up at 1-1. So already retired Abby Hernandez after giving up 4 walks and a single to hit for Hobbs. Still loaded bases for the Lady Eagles. Curveball inside at the middle of the bat, going in foul territory right. It's a shallow shot, but it's going to hit the ground as it goes to the right wall on the Hobbs Lady Eagle dugout side for a foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jimenez batting .366. She has 26 hits, 16 RBIs, 7 doubles, and 2 triples, and has scored 20 runs this season. Hobbs came in at .363 in terms of batting. The curveball hit hard to short. Weldon will throw it home and get the out. Trying to slide in to get the score a little bit late on that one for the Lady Eagles. Good throw coming again. So Hobbs is thrown out at home, unfortunately, for Boyle. So the score is going to remain 2-0 with 2 down. Little fielder's choice there for Jimenez. But the base is still loaded for Hobbs. They can try to add on another score. And that'll bring up 8th in the order, Angel Jimenez, the left fielder. Again, new pitcher is Ortega. Fastball riser for the ball, way high that time. And outside of the right. Jimenez comes in at .304. She's got 21 hits, 18 RBIs, 3 doubles, and a home run, and has scored 11 runs. 1 ball, no strikes. Sagala would be 9th in the order. She gets up with 2 down. Little late swing on a fastball for the strike. Hobbs up 2-0. 1-1 count now with 2 down in the top of the first. Ortega returns with a riser fastball for the ball. 2-1 count now to Jimenez. Jimenez with a .355 on-base percentage. Just needs to get that out in the shallow outfield. Fastball just merely misses outside for the ball. Count goes to 3-1. Hobbs already had a walk home for a score. And bases loaded again. Another walk would put another one up on the board, would make it 3-0. Waggling the bat behind her right ear is Jimenez. Takes the pitch. Curveball inside. Ooh, they got that one for the strike. Little late fist coming up from the umpire. Going to wait to see what's going to be called there. Full count now to Angel Jimenez. Anything close, got to swing the bat here. Keep the ladies up here on offense in the top of the first. Here comes a windup in the throw from Ortega. Fastball, swing and a miss. That will strike out Jimenez for out number 3. But the Lady Eagles do manage to get 1 hit. Unfortunately, leaving 3 on base. 4 walks converted for the Lady Eagles. And they lead 2-0. We head to the bottom of the first. Hobbs up. We'll be back on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the 100.5 Eagle Facebook page. It's Hobbs Lady Eagles softball playoffs on the internet. Hobbs Lady Eagles now on defense as we head to the bottom of the first. 2-0 lead as Hobbs converting on some walks and a single for the offense. Fuentes, Boyle, Garcia, and Valenzuela all getting walks. A single by Zambrano to start off the game. Kayleen Fuentes now the left fielder's up for Carlsbad. She is the left fielder. She's batting .446. She has 37 hits, 46 RBIs, 11 doubles, a triple, and leads the team in home runs with 12. She definitely can swing the bat hard. They're batting .349 as a team into this ball game. So first pitch of the ball game for Medina. And the first swing of the bat, curveball inside, going to be a high one, foul towards the left corner. Maybe it'll stay in play, and barely bounces in fair territory halfway down that third baseline in the left field. Unfortunately, not getting up underneath it quick enough was Angel Jimenez. So that will go down as a single to start the game, the same way the Eagles started in the top of the first. So singles to go for both teams. Hobbs still leading 2-0. Kind of hard to judge. Sun right in the eyes there of Jimenez, and thought that was kind of curving left, but it stayed and bounced just half inches into the fair territory on that third baseline. Paris Weldon now the shortstop on the plate. She takes a fastball, a little high for ball one. Weldon batting .364, 24 hits with 29 RBIs, 5 doubles, 2 home runs. Fastball, heading out towards center field. It's going to go back towards the wall. Over the shoulder catch for the Lady Eagles, pulled up by Mariah Jimenez. And she had her face heading towards the fence, has put the glove behind her head and made the catch. Nice play there by Jimenez for the flyout for Weldon. So one down for the Cavegirls. 2-0 lead for Hobbs. Michaela Chester, she's the one you got to be careful of because has a hard bat here. Batting .278. Correction, .382. She hits it hard to third on the ground. Throw to first in time. Then they throw to home plate, and it's going to be safe. So she whacked it hard to third to Valenzuela, fired the throw home over to first to Garcia, who had returned it to home to Chavez. But the run comes through. That'll be a sack for Chester. And now it's a 2-1 ball game. Curveball comes inside now to Madrid, the right fielder. She's batting .355, has 27 hits, 27 RBIs, 6 doubles, and 4 home runs. One of the leaders hitting it over the fence for Carlsbad. 2-1 ball game, 1-0 count now to Madrid. The windup in the throw, curve it inside. And that'll be called a ball. Count to 2-0. Madrid is the cleanup for Carlsbad. No runners on the bases. 2-1 ball game. Hobbs doubling up on the home team here on the blue turf. Dina takes her time. Fastball down the middle. Hit hard to short. Picked up by Boyle. Fires across the field and connects. That'll be out number 3 off the 6-2-3. Although Carlsbad did manage 1 hit, 1 run came across, nobody left on base. 2-1 ball game though, Hobbs still leads. We head to the top of the second. Your Lady Eagles in the lead of the playoffs in Carlsbad back in 60. Top of the second inning here in Carlsbad. Your Lady Eagles lead 2-1. Their second at bat of the night here in this loser-out game for the first round of the state playoffs. Ty Friend here with you, HobbsAmerica.com YouTube and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Bottom of the order for the Lady Eagles, ninth, Carissa Sagala, the DP in this ball game. Takes the first pitch off the bat for the foul, the back of the backstop here. Sagala batting .368, has 7 hits, 6 RBIs, and a home run. 5 runs scored. Curveball inside for the ball. Count goes to 1-1. Hobbs with 1 hit in the game. The single to start off with Abby Zambrano. Got a ton of walks issued and already relieved the pitcher, Hernandez, who is now Ortega at the mound. Fastball on the high riser, swing and a miss for Sagala. Count goes to 1-2. Oh, 2-1 count. They changed it up here. Ball 2-1. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball, late swing, and that's going to be a strike for Sagala, trying to be the first base runner here in the second inning with a 2-1 lead for the Lady Eagles. Picked up those 4 walks in the first and a single. Next pitch, little changeup look. Takes a drop before it hits the plate for a ball. Full count now to Sagala. Slated for 7 innings here in the first round of the playoffs. Curveball inside. Ooh, a late call by the ump. It's going to ring her up, unfortunately. She started to run up that first baseline, but they get the strike call. And that'll be the second K issued by the relief pitcher, Ortega. Coming in for Hernandez back in the first inning when Hobbs had bases loaded several times. Still left 3 on. 1 down for Hobbs. Top of the order, Zambrano with a single to start the ball game. Fastball high and outside, off the glove of Ortega. Sails to the backstop. They did make a change at second base after they had the pitching change. Fuentes now there at second. She's a senior. Both teams have 4 seniors on their squad, so evened up there. Here comes a 1-0. Fastball just barely misses outside for ball 2. Weldon, make that Fuentes, Boyle, and Chavez, 2 through 4 in the order, due up next for the Lady Eagles. Curveball inside, swing and a miss for Zambrano. Second time to start the order for the Lady Eagles. Nice to see that early in the game here. A lot of people getting a chance to swing the bat in that first inning. In fact, they went through 8 at the plate. Curve it inside, little whack job down the third baseline, scooped up by Chester, fires across the field. Doing the splits to make the catch at first, though, for Carlsbad, and coming up with it was Rivera. That's out number 2. Coming off the 5-3. That's going to bring up for the Lady Eagles, Jackie Fuentes, the right fielder. 2 down now for the Lady Eagles as Fuentes steps in with that walk back in the first inning. Takes a fastball. Clips the top of the strike zone, and you can hear that one hit the glove pretty hard, the whack. This glove coming up for Ortega for Carlsbad, the catcher. Fuentes second in the order. Trying to be the first runner here in the second inning. Still a 2-1 lead for Hobbs. Ortega comes back with another fastball, a little outside for the ball. Count to 1-1. Baseball next door starting about 6 o'clock. The Carlsbad Cavemen were the top teams in the state. From the Hobbs Eagle District, of course. Here's the 1-1. High fastball for the ball count. Good read there by Fuentes. Both teams have 1 hit apiece. They're both singles. A little bit more of a delay now for Ortega. Turns and fires. Little changeup look right down the middle. Floats through. Ooh, they're going to say low. Carlsbad fans not too happy about that. Kind of a little floater and dropped to the last second. Count to 3-1 now, so Fuentes ahead of the order. Ortega comes back, curve it inside, little chop shot is going to go foul, and coming over to put the glove out, Rivera kind of bounces off the webbing and definitely well out of foul territory in the coach's box first base line near the Hobbs Eagle dugout right. Good contact there by Fuentes. Full count now to Jackie. The wind up in the throw for Ortega. Curveball inside, goes low, and that will be a walk. So 5 walks have been issued so far in this ball game. Runners at first, that's Fuentes, her second of the contest. Kaya Boyle now the shortstop. She got a walk back in the first inning. There were 4 different players that picked him up to start the ball game. 2 down, though, for Hobbs. Force out at second for Carlsbad's defense. Ortega goes curve side, middle of the bat. It's going to roll out to center field. Will be a single. Nice crack by Boyle that time. So 2 hits for the Lady Eagles. And runners now at first and second. A lot of small ball hitting going on so far for both teams. Not a lot of hits, but big dive there at second. Actually, shortstop moved over Weldon to try to make a play on that one and could not get her body and glove in front of it. Edith Chavez, the cleanup, flew to third on her last at bat. Takes a fastball down the middle for the strike. Of course, Chavez, one of the best bats on the team. Runners eager to move around the bases here with 2 down. Takes a fastball. Beautiful pitch there for the strike, and Chavez held on that one. And Chavez coming in with the 38 RBIs this season. And if she gets her 14 double, would score a run. Waiting for that is Jackie Fuentes. Fastball off the end of the bat. It's a wobbler. Scooped up at third by Chester. Throws on the run and converts it over to first. Neither stretch on the splits there by Rivera for out number 3, unfortunately, for the Lady Eagles. So Hobbs gets a hit, but leave 2 on base. No runs come across. We head to the bottom of the second. Carlsbad at the plate. Hobbs up 2-1 as we come back for the Lady Eagle playoff game in Carlsbad. HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Back to live action here, the playoffs on HobbsAmerica.com YouTube, the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Ty Friend here with you, exclusive coverage on the internet as Hobbs leads the number 4 seed Carlsbad Cavegirls 2-1. Bottom of the second, though, Carlsbad going to try to even it up, possibly try to take a lead if they can. They've only got 1 hit so far from Kellyanne Fuentes to start the game. Only had 4 batters get through the first inning. They got number 5 up to the plate, Aubrey Hernandez, the pitcher who started the ball game but was relieved in the first inning. Still on the mound for your Lady Eagles, Ellie Medina. Fastball low, sliding left to try to keep a hold on it was Chavez. Saved it from going wild there. Hernandez batting .317. She's got 19 hits, 12 RBIs, 6 doubles, and 4 home runs. One of the leaders with the long ball. The windup in the throw, fastball off the end of the bat. Get a ricochet off the Lady Eagles second baseman, Zambrano. Ball came out the end of her glove and jabbed out to left field, and coming up to get it to center fielder for Hobbs. Save it from going any further was Jimenez. So a hard shot there for a single for Hernandez. Second hit of the ball game for Carlsbad. They got a runner at first now. Faith Rivera comes up to be first baseman. She's batting .425 with 34 hits. That's the second best on the team. Fastball low for the ball. Rivera's also picked up 37 RBIs, 7 doubles, 2 triples, and 6 home runs. As Medina faces her down, kind of lobs it across, but it goes way off to the left side of the plate for the ball. Good eye for the lefty, Rivera. A little bit of size out there as well. Got some good height. A little bit of a different strike zone there for Medina. Count 2-0. Little change-up look outside for ball 3. Good eye for Rivera. So first time that Hobbs' pitcher's been put in this situation, a 3-0 count for the lefty. And the runner at first is Hernandez. 2-1 game. Hobbs up here in the bottom of the second. Fastball low and outside for ball 4. Whoa, the count, I guess they're going to call that a strike. Looked like it was low and outside that time, but umpire sees it differently right behind there. A little changeup look way high. Ball 4 for the walk. First one issued by the Lady Eagles Medina. Runners at first and second now. It's Carlsbad starting to knock at the door just a bit. They trail by 1, but coming up now is Camelia Uranga, the DP. Uranga batting .600 this season. Hasn't been at the plate very much. 5 at bats. Curveball inside. This is going to be a high fly towards right center. Shifting over to make the catch for the Lady Eagles, Mariah Jimenez, and keeps the runner at bay. Nice throw into shortstop to Boyle, and the runner has to take a jog back to first. Not even going to think about going to second on that one. So a fly out there for Uranga. And shut down by Mariah Jimenez. That'll be out number 1. Runner still at first. Another lefty up now. Bianca Villa, center fielder. Fastball outside. She was showing bunt. The stolen base attempt. It will be converted to second and third. So 2 runners move to the next bases. That's going to be Aubrey Hernandez at third and Rivero at second. As coming back to the plate is Villa. She wants to show bunt again, trying to move the runners around. Off the end of the bat, it's going to roll through second base out to center field. An RBI single. Another runner coming home. They throw it from center field to home and not in time. Mariah Jimenez tried to hurl it home, but 2 runs scored off that little bunt. It actually turned into a double by the time it was all said and done, but really the throw is making a single with extended base running. So 2 RBI, single for Villa, as she will score Hernandez and Rivera. It'll be 3-2 now. Carlsbad takes the lead. So a single converted by Villa, and that's bringing up Kendra Ortega, the catcher. Curveball inside, high one, going to go foul quickly though over the Carlsbad dugout on the left side. Air just kind of picked that one off and took a quick sharp left out of play. Not a lot of wind here to deal with, so that didn't really get aided by the wind. Just a little curve action. Take up bottom of the order for Carlsbad, but they lead 3-2 here, bottom of the second. Fastball down the middle, coming over the top of it, a roller to left, or to the third base, Valenzuela fires the throw across field and connects to Garcia for the out off the 5-3. So that'll be 2 down now for Carlsbad. Hobbs trying to stop any more damage as 2 runs that come across after that bunt converted. 2 RBI for Bianca Villa. Top of the order now, Kellyanne Fuentes. Reverse spin on the pitch coming down the middle. Holding on it was Fuentes. Takes the strike call. Fuentes 1 single in the ball game, 1 for 1 at the plate. Again, second time to start the order for Carlsbad. Runner at third for the Cavegirls. The windup in the throw for Medina. A little reverse spin again outside for ball 2. Jumping up quickly from behind the plate, Chavez. Just wanting to see what that runner was going to try to do on that third bag. 1 run lead for Carlsbad. Hobbs got 2 in the first. Carlsbad 1 in the first and 2 here in the second. That 3-2 lead. Curveball inside at the middle of the bat towards center field. Should be shallow enough for the catch and easily done. A little bit of a step forward for Mariah Jimenez out at center for the third and final out. So the fly out for Fuentes. Cavegirls managed to get 2 hits. They get a couple of runs come across, leave 1 on base. We head to the top of the third. It's Carlsbad 3 or Hobbs 8 Eagles 2, coming back with the first round of the 5A state playoffs in 1 minute on the Hobbs 8 Eagle Network. Back to live action here in Carlsbad. Your Hobbs Lady Eagles trailed 3-2. They were up 2-1 in the bottom of the first. Carlsbad just got 2 runs to take the lead, and Garcia now for the Lady Eagles. Walk back in the first baseman for Hobbs. Lives right down the street from me. Very athletic family there. Fastball high for ball 1. Hobbs managing 2 singles in the game, Zambrano and Boyle so far. And 3 hits for Carlsbad, Fuentes, Hernandez, and Villa. Relief pitcher Ortega for Carlsbad. Fastball clips the outside corner for the strike. Evens up the count at 1-1 for Garcia. She is 5th in the order for the Lady Eagles. Hobbs already picked up 5 walks in this ball game with those 2 hits. Here comes a 1-1, little changeup look down the pike. Whoa, where was that one at? They called ball on that. A little bit high maybe in the strike zone, but Hobbs will take it. Count goes to 2-1 now to Garcia. So I heard some moaning there from the Blue fans here at the hometown. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball down the middle, swing and a miss for Garcia for strike 2. Count to 2-2. Looks over to Coach Boyle there in the third coach's box. Of course, his dad's watching his daughter play in this one as well, the shortstop for Hobbs. Here's the 2-2. Curveball inside high, and that will be strike 3 as Garcia couldn't make contact on that one. That's already 3 Ks issued by the relief pitcher Ortega. So she's come in very quickly in the first inning and came from second and get some work done here for the defense for the Cavegirls. Bringing up now Valenzuela for Hobbs. She walked back in the first. One of 4 walks issued in that first inning. Takes the fastball. A little high for ball 1. Hobbs with just 1 out here. Bottom, or make it the top of the third. Slated for 7 here in Carlsbad. The wind up of the throw. Fastball. Down the middle for the strike. Hold on it for Valenzuela. Takes the pitch and evens up the count at 1-1. Exclusive coverage here on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Fastball off the end of the bat and to the middle of the backstop for Valenzuela. She keeps herself alive at the plate with a 1-2 count. Sun kind of dipping behind the clouds here. I don't think they might have to worry about the lights tonight, but we got a little bit of a late start with the first game. Mayfield winning that one, beating Sandia in the first round. Fastball outside for the ball. Count to 2-2. And Mayfield, after winning that one, will play at 7 tonight, or at least after this game, against the winner of this contest. Both those 2 teams will go on to state next week. If Hobbs wins this one, they have to play that second game tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball right down the middle. Hard swing for Valenzuela, but no contact for the strike. So 2 Ks in a row now for Ortega, and she's got 4 Ks overall in the ball game, and brings in Mariah Jimenez, 7th in the order, the fielder's choice back in the first. Hobbs had runs scored by Zambrano and Fuentes in the first inning to get their runs in the ball game. Fastball high for ball 1 for Jimenez. She's 7th in the order. A lot more shade now. No sun showing at this point. Here's the wind up for the throw. Curveball. Whoopsie, return back to the pitcher off the bounce. An easy play for Ortega. Fires it over to Rivera for the 3rd and final out off the 1-3. So Lady Eagles, couple of Ks, couple of grounds in the infield. Nobody on the bases, no runs scored. Head to the bottom of the 3rd. Your Carlsbad Cavegirl home team will be up next. The Lady Eagles going to play some D on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome back to Carlsbad. Ty Friend here with you. The Lady Eagles trailing the Cavegirls 3-2 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Carlsbad to the plate. We mentioned earlier, both teams with 4 seniors on the squad. And Hobbs a lot more top-heavy in terms of juniors. They've got 7, just 2 for Carlsbad. Both teams with 3 sophomores, but a lot more underclassmen, freshmen and 8th graders, 6 total for Carlsbad. Hobbs just has 4 combined with sophomores and 8th graders. But a lot of experience coming back next year for Hobbs with those 7 junior players. Carlsbad up to the plate now, who leads 3-2. Weldon, the shortstop, flew to center field the last time she was up, back in the first inning. One of only 4 batters that got to the plate in that first inning. Hobbs pretty much shutting down Carlsbad, although it was a 2-1 score at the end of one. Takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Ellie Medina still on the mound for the Lady Eagles. The windup in the throw, fastball, reverse spin, clips outside for the ball. Count the 2-0. So Weldon getting up on the count at this point. Second in the order for Carlsbad, and then it's Chester and Madrid, 3 and 4. Comes back, little changeup, curve inside. It's going to take a roll to short for the Lady Eagles. Boyle turns and fires, but it's a low throw. I'm not sure if it was too low or whether it just came off the webbing, and that will be an error. Ball was dropped right in the glove at first, unfortunately. Garcia tried her best to scoop it out. So that will put her on the throwing error inside the infield and gets Weldon at first. Michaela Chester now, who sack flied on the first inning. Curveball inside. She'll take a shot down the third baseline. Unfortunately, he's going to roll out of bounds, but it already was in before that. It's going to score at least 1 run on a triple. They're going to throw it in from left field, coming off the glove of Jimenez, and a triple converted by Michaela Chester. Talked in the pregame show how she is a deadly swinger with the bat, and she got one there with an RBI triple. That will score Weldon. Weldon just barely got on with that throwing error, but going to be 1 run coming across. Makes it 4-2 Carlsbad. No outs with a runner at third, and that is Chester, who just got the triple. 4 hits now for the Cavegirls. Reverse spin, curveball inside, whacked on the ground to Boyle at short, fires over to first, gets the out, and the throw to home, coming from Garcia, not in time. Sliding in for the run is Chester. And the score now to 5-2. Nice throw for Boyle there, and Garcia to wing it down to home. That'll be out number 1. 5-2 now, 2 runs that come across for Carlsbad. Little change-up look down, low, near the plate for the ball. Top of the order. Correction, Allison Madrid, 4th in the order, cleanup. She ground to short back in the first for the final out. Curveball inside, almost hits the batter that time. Got away from Medina just a bit, as Madrid had to move her body away from the plate. 2-0 count. Fastball outside for ball 3. So now Madrid getting well ahead of the order now. Count now 2-1 as the signal comes from the umpire. Little change-up look. Dives across the bag, a little low for the ball. So actually that was Aubrey Hernandez at the plate. Madrid was the one that ground to short to Boyle. Second time in the ball game, too. It's Aubrey Hernandez who got a single back in the second inning. 3-1 count. Curveball inside. Ooh, close. Oh, they did get the strike. Took a little bit of time to get that fist pumped up in the air. So now we got a full count to Hernandez. She's 5th in the order for the Cavegirls. Here comes the pitch quickly and hits her right in the helmet. Wow. Lost control of that one, did Medina. Hit by pitch for Hernandez. So that'll be a runner at first for the Cavegirls, who lead by 3. Faith Rivera now, the first baseman. She got a walk back in the second, did score a run eventually for Carlsbad. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. 2 runs have scored. Carlsbad had 2 in the second and 1 run in the first for their 5. Hobbs had both of their runs to start the game in the first. So Rivera, the lefty, waits for the pitch of Medina. Reverse spin, and this is hard shot, but it's going to go foul quickly. It almost hits the Mayfield squad, who's over there in the behind the Carlsbad dugout in the bullpen. Over there having a tea party or something. Almost got hit in the head with the softball that time. Would not have felt good, and big smiles coming from the green and gold over there. Boy, that thing would have been straightened out. That would have been a major problem for Fuentes out in right field for Hobbs. Back to the plate goes Rivera. Returning with the pitch, Medina. Fastball down the middle, hard shot to second. Zambrano Delayed throw, gets it to first, and they get the out. And they also got the runner at second as well. She threw it to second, and then the throw coming from second from Zambrano to Garcia. So a double play for the Lady Eagles. And that shuts down Carlsbad getting any more runs on the board, who got 2 in that inning. So they end up getting a triple off Chester's bat. And a couple of runs did come across. Double play, finishes up the bases and clears them for the Lady Eagles and the third and final out. We head to the top of the fourth, though. Hobbsies have come out of a hole 5-2 trailing Carlsbad. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Lady Eagle Network. Top of the fourth inning here in Carlsbad, first round of the 5A state playoffs. Loser is out on this game. Winner goes on for another game later tonight. Hobbs trailing by 3. They're at the plate. Angel Jimenez, the left fielder, takes a curveball inside, going high on the foul, turns the right backstop and into the stands, and hits some more of the Mayfield players. They had a few over there by the bullpen that got whacked a minute ago, and some of them are sitting in the grandstands here after winning their first game today. Foul territory, so Jimenez doesn't have to worry about it. She'll come back to the plate. She's 8th in the order, struck out for the last out of the first inning. That was an inning that the Lady Eagles had 8 batters at the plate. Segala due up next for Hobbs. Lead pitcher, of course, Carlsbad's Ortega with a curveball inside and low for the ball. Count even to 1-1. Only 2 hits coming from Zambrano and Boyle so far, both singles. They've racked up 5 walks, though. Majority of those in the first inning. Here comes a 1-1. Fastball down the middle for the strike as a hold by Jimenez. Hobbs pulls the win out here. They would play again after this contest against Mayfield, the number 5 seed. Both teams would go to state just by winning this first game. That's very important. First spin is going to take a wobble bounce to third. Fired across by Chester. It gets past the first baseman, and that will be a throwing error. I don't know if it hit our base runner there or not, but it looked like Jimenez kind of wobbling after that. So throwing error, though, for Carlsbad. Will take the runner, though, first base for Hobbs. No outs. Bottom of the order, Carissa Segala, the DP, struck out back in the second inning. Definitely wants to get some runs around the bases here. Taking a little more time as Ortega fires the fastball. A little low for the ball. Segala again batting .368. 19 at bats, so not a lot to compare to some of the other players on the squad, but does have 6 RBIs and a home run. Curveball inside, swing and a miss. Nice fastball coming across by Ortega. Count evens up at 1-1. Hobbs will go to the top of the order here for the third time. Zambrano waiting with a single earlier, 1 for 2 at the plate. Comes a wind up in the throw. Fastball high and kind of going up on the ladder for it. Unfortunately, Segala can't make contact and takes the strike with a 1-2 count now to Carissa. Hobbs at 13-12, 20-6 for the Carlsbad Cavegirls. Fastball down the middle and holding on it, deer in the headlights. Unfortunately for Segala, strikes out for the second time. And that is the 4th, make it the 5th K of the ball game off the relief pitcher Ortega, who got in late in the first inning. So she's really come on strong. And now facing the top of the order, Zambrano, who is 1 of 2 with a single and a run score. Fastball outside for ball 1. Both hits for the Lady Eagles in the top 3 of the order. Zambrano and Boyle both getting them. There's also been 3 walks issued with 2 to Fuentes and 1 to Boyle. Fastball, a little more inside this time to get the strike on that one. Count to go 1-1. Sun still behind the clouds here in Carlsbad. Not as much of a threat of rain as we saw in Hobbs just before I left. Little sprinkle action there. Fastball clips right down the pike for the strike. And the count now 1-2, so protection of the plate is on the mind of Zambrano. Does not want to get the second out here on a watch of the pitch. Does have a runner first still, that's Boyle. Fastball at the middle of the bat, and that's going over the dugout of Hobbs, out of play. I think I see Coach Crossland over there, former Hobbs Eagles coach, of course. Looks like he's hanging out with the team in this one. Guess my eyes are failing me there. Fastball barely misses the outside corner, so moving it on from the Carlsbad fans. That should have been strike three, but saved by the call by Zambrano there, and she'll get another chance to swing the bat. 2-2 count, though, to Abby. Trying to add under her second, or make it her second hit if she gets one here. Fastball down the middle. That one caught a little high. And now we got a full count, so screeching her way back into this, Zambrano. Of course, she's batting .317 this season, does have 12 RBIs. Curveball inside. This is heading out to left center with some air underneath that. Shift over to the left side, the center fielder, and Villa able to make the catch out now near that big C logo at center field. She shifted to the left side, though, left center, for the fly out for Zambrano. Second out for the Lady Eagles. And that'll bring up second in the order, Jackie Fuentes. 2 walks so far, so she's been a base runner and a run scored. Second run of the ball game for Hobbs. Change-up look there, a little high for ball one. Hobbs opened up 2-1 in the first inning, but runs scored in all 3 innings after that for Carlsbad, 1, 2, and 2. Yet to come up to the plate here in the fourth. 1-0 pitch, fastball high for ball 2. So Fuentes been pretty consistent getting on base so far with those 2 walks. Wants to keep anything away from second if possible here with the runner at first, which is Jimenez, who got on due to an error. Fastball, middle of the bat, going to go high towards second, shifting way towards the first base to make the catch. And that was Fuentes for out number 3. So the fly out there for Jackie Fuentes, and hit that out to Carlsbad's Fuentes. As the Lady Eagles, unfortunately, got on due to an error, but nothing coming across the plate, no hits. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Hobbs trailing 5-2 to Carlsbad. You're listening live to Hobbs 8 Eagle Playoff Softball on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube Hobbs Sports page, and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Back live to Hobbs 8 Eagle Playoff Softball in Carlsbad. They trail the Cavegirls 5-2. Bottom of the fourth, Carlsbad at the plate. Like to thank our sponsors of Lady Eagle Softball on the internet: Lee County State Bank, Lasco Construction, IPS, Forest Tire, Norley Hospital District, Eunice Pump and Supply, Outlaw Grill, Thrifty and La Tienda Groceries, R360, Inabar Pipeline, LaBelle Insurance, DNC Electric, and New Mexico Junior College. Thanks for sponsoring Lady Eagle Softball on the internet. Bottom of the fourth inning, Carlsbad at the plate. 5-2 ball game. Cavegirls getting 2 scores in the second and third inning to take the 3-run lead. Hobbs getting both of their runs in the first. Camelia Uranga at the plate. The DP flew to center field back in the second. Lady Eagles have Medina still at the mound for the Lady Eagles D. Curveball inside. This is going high up in the air, and a fly ball being caught. Nice little jog underneath it by Mariah Jimenez. Getting a little workout there in center field the last couple innings for the fly out. Good handle of the ball there. That's the second time the Urangas hit out to her in this ball game. 1 down for the Cavegirls, and that brings in Bianca Villa, the 8th in the order. She had a 2 RBI single back in the second, gotten some run scoring for Carlsbad. Fastball coming outside for the ball. Lefty at the plate is Villa, and she came running up across the top of the plate there. She looking like she wanted to get a little tap there at the ball if possible in the infield. Showing bunt. Here comes Medina. Little change-up look there and a reverse spin on that pitch. Little high for the ball. Count the 2-0. Good eye for Villa. So far, 4 hits for Carlsbad and 2 for the Lady Eagles. 5-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th, going to 7 innings. Fastball outside. She swings out the end of the bat, just kind of lunges across the plate, kind of pops it over towards the foul territory on the left side near Carlsbad's dugout. Coming off the left field to go chase it, Angel Jimenez, the left fielder for the Lady Eagles. 2 balls and a strike now to Uranga. She's 7th in the order. Villa and Ortega will round it out for Carlsbad. Back in the box we go. 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside for the ball. A lot cooler action now as the sun's been behind the clouds for a little while here in Carlsbad. Here's 3 balls and a strike. High riser fastball. That's going to be ball 4. And Villa started throwing the bat away before she even had a call from the ump on that one, but she knew that was way out of position there. So walk issued. That's only the 2nd walk of the ball game off the pitching of Medina. And that brings up bottom of the order Kendra Ortega to round out the order for the 2nd time. She's showing bunt, comes off the end of the bat, but rolls foul quickly. Sweeped up by Chavez, and no time to throw as ump calls it foul. She definitely wanted to pick off the runner. Heading to 2nd was Villa. Five-2 ball game. Bottom of the 4th. More than halfway through this contest, unless we go extras. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Curve it inside. Bounces off the leg, it looks like, of Chavez behind the plate. Will advance the runner to 2nd. Couldn't tell if it hit her knee protection there or possibly her ankle, or maybe the plate on the left side. So now a runner at 2nd for Carlsbad. They've got 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Medina gets settled back in the circle. Toes the rubber, fires the curveball inside. Golf swing, and it go out across the top of the roof of the Carlsbad dugout left. Just rolls off the roof from front to back. Coach Santo giving her some words of wisdom out there. Wants her to straighten it out just a bit. Medina right back to action here from the mound. Throws a reverse spin pitch, a little blooper. Diving for it in the foul territory on the first baseline was Chavez, the catcher. Had a little bit of air underneath it, but she had to sprawl out on her stomach on her chest protector that time and could not get the glove right underneath it where she wanted to. Good effort, though. Acrobatic move by Chavez. Most of the time, just let that one go, but she wanted to get that 2nd out. Count goes to 1-2 now. As Medina comes, reverse spin pitch, blooper over to 3rd in foul territory, and the make catch by Valenzuela shifts over there. She didn't want that one to just go flopping out towards the dugout on Carlsbad's side and gets the fly out for Ortega. So we've been through the batting order twice for Carlsbad now. That'll be out number 2, though, for the Cavegirls. Top of the order, Kalian Fuentes, who's 1 of 2 with a single and flew to center. Fastball outside for ball 1. Again, Mariah Jimenez getting a lot of work out there in center. Both for Fuentes and also Uranga hitting to her quite a bit. Curveball inside. This one's going high in the air. It's going to stay in the infield, shifting towards first, and coming over to make the catch for Hobbs is Garcia for out number 3 on the flyout from Fuentes. So Carlsbad does manage to get 1 runner on due to a walk. They get to 2nd, but no further than that. No runs come across, no hits. Go to the top of the 5th. Your Lady Eagles trying to get back in this one. Trail 5-2 to the 4th-ranked Carlsbad Cavegirls. We'll be back in 60 seconds live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Five-2 ball game here in Carlsbad. The home squad, the Cavegirls, leading by 3. 3-run lead for them. Scoring coming 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third for the Cavegirls. Hobbs getting their only 2 runs in the first. In the bottom of the fourth. Correction, top of the fifth, I should say. Hobbs at the plate will be Boyle as she steps in. Boyle's a 1-for-1 with a single and a walk. She's been on base both times, the shortstop for Hobbs. Got a lot of baseball and softball pedigree in her blood. Relief pitcher Ortega came in the first inning. Done a good job as issuing strikes so far. Fastball high for ball 1. Since she's been in, 5 Ks issued. And she's given up, I believe, 1 hit. That was to Boyle, this single. Hobbs got to get out of this hole pretty quickly here. Takes the fastball. Little sinker for a ball call. A little low for ball 2. Boyle third in the order for Hobbs. Edith Chavez, the cleanup artist, is next. But she's 0 for 2 right now, and she's due 1. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball, little check swing for Boyle. Takes the strike and shakes her head. A little bit of a grin. She knew she should have probably come around on that one and came around enough to get the strike. 2-1 count now to Boyle. Take a bounce a little bit before the pitch. Throws it inside, and boy, holding her position is Boyle. That thing looked like it was going to hit her in the knees, and she just stayed solid to take the ball. Gets ahead of the count, too, 3-1. Has a pitch or so to burn here if she wants. Of course, she knows her teammate Chavez up next, who can knock some runners around. Fastball high, and ball 4 going. Boyle gets her second walk of the game, but on base all 3 times. That's 6 walks now, although 4 of those came in the first inning with the starter, Hernandez, before Ortega got in. Edith Chavez now flew to third and ground to third, so I guess that's giving a warning to Chester to be ready. Not the plan of Chavez, though. 5-2 ball game. Fastball high. Takes the ball. 1-0 count. 2 walks for Boyle, 2 walks for Fuentes, and a walk apiece for Garcia and Valenzuela. For the Lady Eagles, 1-0 pitch. Going to be a fastball high out towards right center. That's going to take a bounce, a couple of them towards the warning track. That'll be a double. They're going to hold the runner at third and a slide into second. No problem. The throw not there as Chavez picks up a double. That'll be the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Lady Eagles. 2 singles and a double now. And it gets the Lady Eagles fans fired up just a bit as they want to see this team come back and upset Carlsbad, a team they beat back on March 29th, but lost 4 games in district. But this is one and done, so this is the one that matters the most. Allison Garcia, she is 0 for 1, a strikeout, but did get a walk back in the first. She faces Ortega. Fastball, she gets a lunge at it towards right center again. Right fielder's going to get it underneath it. Madrid makes the catch. It throws it to the pitcher, who chucks it to second. Runner comes home. I thought that ball was going to come home, but on the original throw from Madrid, but she kind of sailed it, put a lot too much helium underneath that one, and gave a chance for the run to score, thankfully for the Eagles. That's Boyle scoring, and now it's 5-3. Get a little closer now here in the top of the 5th. First run since the first inning for Hobbs. They went scoreless through 3. Fastball right down the middle for Garcia. She holds on it, picks the strike on that one. Oh, correction, that is Garcia out there. Well, that's correction again. That's Valenzuela. Valenzuela was 0 for 1. She had a strikeout and a walk, just like Garcia had before that. Still 5-3 ball game. Hobbs at the run here in the 5th. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball high and outside for the ball. Big lead off there at second for the Lady Eagles. Some aggressive base running going on here. That's Chavez at second. Little change-up look. Little high and inside. Crowd not liking that one for the blue squad at least. Ortega not able to get the strike she wanted to be called. 2-2 count now to Valenzuela. 2-2 count. Fastball,
Out of play.
loose swing on that one. It goes over the top of the backstop, out of play. So staying alive at the plate is Valenzuela. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eagles trying to claw their way back into this one, down by 2 here in the top of the 5th. Curveball inside, swing and a miss, and that will strike out Valenzuela for her 2nd time in this one. And that will be the 5th K, or make it the 6th K for the relief pitcher Ortega. Out number 2 here in the top of the 5th. And it looks like we've got a sub coming in to run the bases. That's going to be Sanchez for the Lady Eagles, the 8th grader. Get a chance to do some work here in the playoffs. Angelica Sanchez. But 2 outs for the Lady Eagles. Runner at 2nd. Fastball down the pike. And waiting on it there was Jimenez. She fielder's choice in the 1st and ground out to 1st in the 2nd. So she is due one here. 5-3 ball game. As she waits the pitch from Ortega. Fastball high on the riser for the ball. Count to 1-1. Angel Jimenez, 8th in the order, up next. And then Carissa Segala. Hopefully both of those 2 get up with 2 down. Ortega gets the call she wants. Reverse spin on the fastball. Across the middle and a swing and a miss. Coming over the top of it was Jimenez for the strike. And the count now goes to 1-2. So very much in protective mode here. Still want to advance the runner if they can at 2nd. Big stare down from the circle from Ortega. Fastball down the middle and throws a little outside as it kind of veered at the last second, and that made Jimenez lunge and take strike 3, unfortunately. So Lady Eagles do manage to get the double, and they get 1 run to come across, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Carlsbad at the plate, 5-3. Cavegirls back in 60 on the Hobbs 8 Eagle Network.
Shortstop, number 11, Paris Weldon.
5-3 ball game. Carlsbad Cavegirls up in this first round playoff game. Winner will take on Mayfield tonight right after this one. Winner of this game will be automatically into the 2nd round. If they win the 2nd game, they'll go to the winner's bracket and loser's bracket if they lose the game tonight. But first, one of these teams have to get there, and it's a close one, 5-3. Carlsbad will have the plate now in the bottom of the 5th, up by 2. Little change-up look inside and gets the inside part of the plate for the strike. Still on the mound for the Lady Eagles. Ellie Medina going the distance so far. Pretty good work for her at this point. Fastball high for the ball. Weldon at the plate. She flew to center and got on due to a throwing error. Did score a run after that, though. A little changeup. It's going to go high in the air towards center. Another workout for Miss Jimenez, and Mariah able to make another catch. The sun is out there in the outfield now, so a little bit of a changeup. We had pretty dark conditions for about 2 or 3 innings now, but great catch for Jimenez for the flyout for Weldon. She's yet to get a hit in this ball game. Boy, lots of catches going on for Jimenez out in center. That'll be the first out for the Cavegirls. 5-3 ball game, bottom of the 5th. Little changeup going to go towards short, hard on the ground to Boyle. Turns and fires and connects to Garcia at first off the 6-2-3. Out number 2. Quick zipper over there from Boyle. Hard shot coming across there from Chester that time. Allison Madrid, they clean up. She ground out to short twice. So Boyle on alert now. She better be ready. And the little reverse spin inside, curve for the ball. After Madrid, it's Hernandez. She was the starting pitcher. She's had a single in the game. But 4 hits for the Cavegirls. Would like to extend their lead 5-3 at this point. High rising fastball for the ball. Now a 2-0 count. Good eye for Madrid. Again, Carlsbad 12-0 in district this year. Hobbs tied with Roswell in second at 6-6. So Carlsbad pretty much ran away with the record at least. That'll be reverse spin. It's going to be whacked out towards left field. Scooped up by Jimenez. Angel throws it into Boyle and short. But it is a single by Madrid. Her first hit of the ball game. And that'll be number 5 in terms of hits for the Cavegirls. 5-3 is the hit total at this point in favor of the blue and white. And a 5-3 lead as well. Kind of ironic. 2 down, though. Here in the top of the 5th. 5-3 ball game. Fastball goes low from Medina. Good save underneath on the plate by Chavez for Hobbs to keep it from going wild. Count to 1-0 for Hernandez. Big crouch at the circle for Medina. Fastball low and inside for the ball. Count to 2-0. Hernandez had a single, was hit by a pitch, did score a run. That was a pitch that hit her right in the middle of the helmet. Kind of a dangerous shot there. It's held the Suns right in the face of Medina at the circle right now. It's kind of hard to place the ball. Curve it inside, little check swing off the handle by Hernandez. Hits the right backstop for the foul. Wasn't quite sure she wanted to extend it complete on that one. Little 90-degree look instead of the 180 that time. 2 balls and 1 strike to Hernandez. Of course, the Lady Eagles had to rebound a little bit after losing Rodriguez on the mound to injury a few weeks back, so that definitely was devastating. Curveball inside, little flinch again for Hernandez. This time didn't move the bat as much, but takes the ball inside for a 2-2 count. Every time you see Medina getting ready to pitch, he's got her hand over her face to try to block that sun. Curve it inside and low. Sliding over is Chavez to keep it in play, but it'll be a ball. And now a full count to Hernandez. Again, she's 5th in the order. Faith Rivera would be up next. But there are 2 outs. Force out would be at second for the Hobbs defense. The infield having to deal with that sun as well as the pitcher. Reverse spin, low shot. It'll hit the plate, and they call the walk. Madrid started sprinting out anyway to second, but she didn't have to. It was the walk issued first. And then Faith Rivera now checking in, the 6th in the order. Time is called. Coach Boyle going to go to the circle and talk to his starter Medina, who's had a pretty good run so far at this game. Very close contest, 5-3. We'll take a quick 60-second break. Carlsbad up by 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. We're back live with Hobbs 8 Eagle playoff softball. Stay with us. So Coach Boyle returns from the circle back to the dugout. He leaves his starter, Ellie Medina, out there. 5-3 ball game here in the top of the 5th. 2 down, though, for Carlsbad. Wind up fastball outside for the ball. Count to 1-0. Faith Rivera walked and ground to second. She did get a run scored after the walk in the second inning. 2 runs did come across for Carlsbad in that second frame. Medina checks her left wristband. Turns, winds up, fires, little reverse spin, and it comes right over the top of our dugout. Little 3D action coming at the camera there, a little off to the left. Evens up the count at 1-1 for Rivera, one of the lefties for Carlsbad. Uranga, Villa, and Ortega to round out the order for Carlsbad, the 3rd time through the order for the Cavegirls, although they do have 2 outs to deal with. Off the end of the bat on the fastball, heading to the left wall, will take a bounce. Off the wall, chasing it on the left side is Jimenez, throws it in to her 3rd baseman, Valenzuela. A couple of runs are going to come across and score, and it'll be a 2 RBI double for Carlsbad. Off Rivera's bat that time. Good crack of it. So 7-3 the score. Still just 2 outs, though, for Carlsbad, so Hobbs hoping to shut it off quickly here and get a chance to bring the bats back up. That was just after a time. Coach Boyle had just been out there. I don't see any activity in the bullpen at this point except for Mayfield. Their whole team is in there over on the Hobbs Eagles side, but, of course, you can always bring your pitchers in from the field as well. Time was called a second here as they get another lefty at the plate. I think there's a sub in here. Cook. Yeah, Brooklyn Cook, thank you. Just an 8th grader, too. As she comes in for Uranga. So her first time at the plate. Cook, .312 on the season, batting average. 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 RBIs, a triple. So doing some good numbers for an 8th grader. Fastball goes right over the head of Bonita at the circle, rolls out into center. Good scoop, and Jimenez runs it into the infield from center. Nice job to stop any runs to advance. Good defensive move there, but a single issue to Cook, who just barely got on the field. And this time, Coach Boyle is coming out again. I think that's going to be it, unfortunately, for Medina. All the infielders are coming in as well. We'll take a break, and we'll see who's going to come in at the pitching situation here. Back with us in 90 seconds on the Hobbs 8 Eagle Network. Coach Boyle makes a change at the circle, and the new pitcher coming in, who's been in the game already defensively for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, Marina Valenzuela. She comes in with a 2-1 record. Her 6th game that she's appeared in has a 6.46 ERA. So Valenzuela going to be the relief here in the bottom of the 5th. Carlsbad has scored 2 runs, but 2 outs still. As the infield meets with her for a second for the new pitcher on the circle. Of course, both teams have had a relief. Ortega came in the first inning for Carlsbad after giving up 2 runs and a bunch of walks, about 4 of those. First pitcher Valenzuela will meet will be 8 for Carlsbad, will be Bianca Villa. 2 RBI single and a walk. She's been on twice. Looked like she was going to show bunt action there. Ran up in front of the plate, pulled out of it. Takes the ball call and the fastball. Runner at first and third for Carlsbad. So they're knocking at the door. They lead 7-3. Reverse spin. There's a steal attempt to second. A tag after a throw coming from behind the plate for Chavez, and they get the runner. That was Uranga, or make it Cook. The 8th grader got tagged out at second for out number 3. Boy, you kind of scratch your head at the call on that one. You have some people coming up to the plate and knock some runs around, and instead you get picked off on a steal attempt at second. So the Hobbs 8 Eagles did manage to give up 2 runs and didn't make it any worse there. Relief pitcher, make it 3 hits for Carlsbad. They scored 2 runs, 7-3. The Cavegirls lead your Lady Eagles, but they're coming to the plate next on the softball action here, the playoffs on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the 100.5 The Eagle Facebook page. Curving inside, whacked into left field. He got through the gap. That'll be an RBI single for Boyle. Her 2nd single of the ball game. This scores a run, and that will bring Wrangle home. So Hobbs now down 7-4, top of the 6th with 1 out. Again, we've already got relief pitchers for both teams, and Hobbs now starting to whack away at the Carlsbad defense and the pitching of Ortega. Runners on all 3 bases, 7-4 ball game. Fastball high and outside, and saving it from going wild as jumping up was Ortega. And keeps it from going to the fence, which would have been another run scored. 1 ball and no strikes. to Chavez, who had a double earlier. Curveball inside and low for the ball. Flew to third to start it off, ground to third, and then had a double. So starting to see some improvement going on here. Just keep it away from Chester there at that third base bag. Runners eager at all three bases for Hobbs with just one out. Curveball inside. It takes a bounce to third. A stop by Chester. Throws to first and gets another throw for the double play. Welcome back to Carlsbad. Your Hobbs Lady Eagles unfortunately losing in their first round playoff game of 5A as a final score 13-5. As the Lady Eagles came back in the contest, got a few runs there in that seventh inning to try to pull back in it, but unfortunately could not get the job done. Bats went kind of quiet in the bottom half of the batting rotation there, but the top half trying to get as best they could. Let's first of all look at the winning team first, the Carlsbad Cavegirls, who improved to 21-6 as the Eagles dropped to 13-13. Kayleon Frentes went 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. She scored a run. Paris Weldon went 1 for 4 with a single and a couple of runs scored. Michaela Chester went 1 for 2. She had an RBI triple and a walk and a run scored. It was Allison Madrid went with a 1 for 4 and a single. Hernandez had a single and a couple of walks. She was 1 for 1. Faith Rivera had a double and a single. She went 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs, scored a run, and had a walk. Camelia Uranga went 2 for 4, had 2 singles and RBI. Actually, that was a Cook, 2 singles, went 2 for 2. She was in relief at the plate of Camelia Uranga on offense only. Bianca Villa went 2 for 3 with a 2 RBI single and another single plus a walk on base 3 times. And Kendra Ortega went 1 for 3 with a double. So every player, the starters, at least got 1 hit, and they finished up with 4 players that had multiple hits for the Carlsbad Cavegirls. 13 hits in the game for Carlsbad. They were walked 5 times and had 3 errors on defense. Winning pitcher was Ortega. She came in relief early in the first inning after Hobbs took a 2-0 lead and 4 walks given up by the starter, Hernandez, who was undefeated at that point, 8-0 on the season. So Hobbs chased her off pretty quickly. For the Hobbs Lady Eagles, it was Zambrano finishing 1 for 5 in the game. She had a single to start the contest. Jackie Fuentes finished up 1 for 2 with a single and 2 walks, scored a run. Kaya Boyle had 4 times on the bases. Every time she made it to the plate, she was on the bases as well. Couple of walks and 2 singles, one including an RBI single. She was 2 for 2 at the plate, the shortstop for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Edith Chavez had kind of a quiet night, but did manage a double, went 1 for 4 at the plate. Allison Garcia had a critical hit in the 7th inning and also scored a run. She went 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. It was Valenzuela, the relief pitcher, got a walk. For her, only a stat offensively in the ball game. Mariah Jimenez went 1 for 4 with an RBI single in her last at bat. Angel Jimenez went 1 for 4 with a single. And it was Rangel got on due to a walk and a run scored as she came on for Carissa Segala in her 2 at-bats in the ball game. So Hobbs again with a total of 8 hits. They were walked 7 times, 4 of those in the first inning, and finish up with 1 error in the infield defensively. Most of the scoring coming in that 6th inning, where Carl's been able to manage 6 runs coming across to really get the lead stretched out, almost getting to a mercy rule at one point. Hobbs started off with 2 runs, but Carlsbad scored 1 in the first. It was a 2-1 ball game. Then a couple innings of 2 runs scoring, 2 in the second, 2 in the third to make it 4-1. And then, of course, we mentioned that 6 runs in the 6th pretty much put it over the top, as the Hobbs 8 Eagles unfortunately lose this game. 13-5 is the final in the contest. Hobbs again dropping to 13-13 overall, and Carlsbad improving to 21-6. They will play Mayfield next here in Carlsbad. They beat Sandia, yes, 5-2 earlier to get into this game, and both teams will advance to the second round despite if they lose or not. In terms of the 4 seniors for the Hobbs 8 Eagles, of course, the big one to lose is Edith Chavez. She is the cleanup hitter for Hobbs. She's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. I would try to fill the shoes of, I should say, because she's definitely one of their best hitters as well on this team. She had that double today and came into this ball game as well, doing a great job this season at .435. She came in with 38 RBIs and 9 home runs, the best home run hitter on the team out of the 22 the Hobbs Lady Eagles had this season. So definitely going to miss her. And again, Chavez in this ball game, he plays the catcher as well, and always moving around, popping up, getting ready to throw people out around the bases. 3 other seniors on the team as well. Angel Jimenez, get that out of my mouth here. Of course, she was in this game as well. Angel Jimenez finishing with the 1 single of the contest. And in terms of her play this season, Angel playing in the left field, especially in this game today. And in terms of her batting this season, she finished at .304 and had a total of 11 runs and 21 hits, 18 RBIs, and 3 doubles, and 1 home run as well for Angel Jimenez. Other seniors, including Uraceli Medina. She was on the mound today for quite a bit of the ball game. Otherwise, Ellie Medina on the circle. She's a senior as well. Right-handed pitcher, also played some outfielder for the team, and she'll be sorely missed. Of course, pitching was kind of an issue with Rodriguez going down hurt, so they had to do some shifting and move some people around a little bit. She has played pitcher for much of the season, but again, put into kind of a tough position in this game. Losing, you're done, and unfortunately that's what ended up happening in this game. But she did get relieved by Valenzuela, but still a good effort for her throughout much of the contest for Medina. And again, she is a senior. Finally, last but not least, Boyle. Yes, it's the sister of the coach and, of course, the daughter of the baseball coach for the Hobbs Eagles. Definitely a very big spark plug at shortstop. Kind of hard to believe she's already a senior, but she's been around the baseball world and softball for quite a few years, and it's pretty exciting to have coaching from both 2 members of her family in terms of official coaching at the high school level. So, again, it's hard to see Boyle leave. In terms of her production in this ball game, very good defense. Had some great plays there at short. She had 2 for 2 hitting, 2 walks, to be on base all 4 times in the contest. And in terms of hitting this season, .442, 23 hits, 18 RBIs, 6 doubles, and 2 triples, including 1 home run. So 4 seniors once again, Edith Chavez, also Jimenez, Medina, and Boyle, the 4 seniors departing from the Hobbs 8 Eagles. Again, final score here in Carlsbad, 13-5, as Carlsbad advances to the second round of the state playoffs, plays Mayfield here in just a few minutes. We also like to thank our sponsors on the season for Hobbs Lady Eagles softball, including Lee County State Bank, Lasco Construction, IPS, Forest Tire, Norley Hospital District, Eunice Pump and Supply, Outlaw Grill, Thrifty and La Tienda Groceries, R360, NMR Pipeline, Lavelle Insurance, DNC Electric, and New Mexico Junior College. Thanks for being with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed Hobbs 8 Eagles softball throughout the season on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Eagle 100.5 Facebook page. Have a great weekend out there, and happy Mother's Day on Sunday, all you ladies out there.